Kamusta kayo? Today, we're going to visualize some data using Python and Matplotlib. So, kung gusto niyo makita ang data nyo in a visual way, charts, graphs, and plots, this is the tool for you. And first, we import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. And this, uh, this is the standard convention. And para hindi na tayo mahirapan mag-type ng mahaba every time na gagamit tayo ng Matplotlib and yung PLT yung gagamitin natin. And let's start. Now let's input our data. And may data tayo dito about a run workout. And we have the duration of the run in minutes and the corresponding heart rate sa bawat time interval. So, imagine, habang tumatagal ang takbo, tumataas din ang tibok ng puso natin. And here, let's type to plot this data. We use plt.plot. And first, ay uunahin natin yung x-axis natin, which is the minutes ng run. Then the y-axis naman ay ang heart rate natin. And let's type. Let's run data natin. And here we also add a title and labels. And yun nga, para malinaw kung ano yung pinapakita ng graph. And of course, yun nga, sa paggamit natin ng plt.show and para lumabas talaga yung graph natin. So, ito nga, makikita natin dito agad na yung trend ng heart rate habang tumatagal yung run. And yan. And okay, accurate naman yung graph natin, pero let's be honest, medyo boring pa yung graph natin. So, let's customize it para mas professional ba, mas madaling basahin ba. And for the next natin na pag-add, they will type plt.plot. And here we can add styling arguments. And I'll change the color to crimson. Gagawin natin siyang dash yung line and magdadagdag tayo ng markers. And yung marker is equal to P. Ayun yung magbibigay ng parang plus sign shapes or para kita talaga yung data ng points. And I also add plt.grid as true. Very useful to at lalo na sa fitness data kasi mas madali mong ma-read ang exact values. And let's type here, yan. Tama naman yung inilabas ng graph natin. Niran ng data. Line natin is naging dash nagkaroon ng dash line. And, ayan, tama naman yung title na nilagay natin. And for the Y label and X label. And next, let's move naman sa ating bar chart. And now, ibang klaseng data naman yung gagamitin natin, which is the calories burned per hour across different activities. And here maglalagay tayo ng running, swimming, cycling, yoga, at weightlifting. And for categorical data tulad nito, mas bagay ang bar chart. And same idea lang halos naman, pero instead of that plot, we will use that bar. And let's type apat, weightlifting, and the last one is yoga. And now, what if gusto naman natin makita kung may relationship ba between two large data sets? And for example, steps per day versus weight loss. And here, gagamit tayo ng NumPy dito to generate random mock data. And this is common practice kapag nagtatest pa lang tayo ng visualizations. And let's type. Makikita natin kung saan nagkukumpulan yung values. And here, dito yan. Ito yung pinaka mas marami. And yan, kita naman agad natin sa ating data. And next, here, let's build a weekly fitness summary naman. And we have two data sets here. Una, strength training reps. And yung pangalawa naman natin is yung daily steps counts from Monday to Friday. So let's type. Exercises. And the second one is the push-ups. Third is yung sit-ups, fourth yung lunges, and the last one is the plank. So, for our second visualization naman, ito yung line plot for daily steps. Since the data happens over time, a line plot is the best choice. And I'm using Indigo with circle markers para malinaw yung movement per day naman natin. And let's type same data pa rin naman tayo. So, may babaguhin lang naman tayo ton. At, copy na lang natin to. Kasi may babaguhin lang naman tayo. Yan. And, okay, nag-log. P. Tama ba? Yan. Ang babaguhin lang naman natin here is yung wala tayong babaguhin here. Or, itong color nga as indigo. Indigo. Yan. Ganun pa rin. So, let's type or let's run. So, ayan, bago naman. And, yan. Ayan. So, from Monday to Friday, makikita nyo agad kung kailan kayo or kailan yung exercises na pinaka-active. Ayan, ayan. So, ayan. Squat yung pinaka-active. And there you go. You have just visualized a full workout week using Python and Matplotlib. And this is how you start turning raw data into meaningful insight. And that's all. Thank you for watching and happy coding. Hi everyone, and here we're going to use naman NumPy to analyze some basic business data, sales, and inventory. So kung curious kayo kung paano ginagamit ang Python sa business analytics, this is a great starting point. And we start by importing NumPy as NP. And this is the standard alias na ginagamit ng halos lahat ng Python users. Kaya mas mabilis at mas malinis ang code natin. And let's start. So first, let's create a simple NumPy array. And this array represents the units sold over 5 patches. And we use np.array to convert a regular Python uh, a regular Python list into NumPy array. So let's type unit. Dahil ang NumPy arrays ay mas mabilis at mas powerful pagdating sa math operation compared sa normal list. And next, let's calculate naman kung uh, let's cal let's calculate our revenue naman and assume natin na ang price natin per unit ay $10. And here's where NumPy really shines. And instead of using loops, we can multiply the units underscore sold array directly with the price underscore per unit array. So let's type natin ano. Each element one by one. Yan. 10 times 50 is 500. 60 times 10, 600. 45 times 10, 450. 70 times 10, 700. And 55 times 10 is 500 per day. And we all see naman na simple, clean, at very efficient yung NumPy array natin. And what if naman ay magdagdag tayo? For example, may $5 tayo na bonus bawat batch. And let's type na ito. Ayan. We can, here, we can simply add the value 5. And yun nga, ito lumabas 505, 605, 405. And this feature is called broadcasting. And meaning naman nun is one value is automatically applied to all elements in the array. And very convenient siya, lalo na sa real business computation. And now, sa ating next topics naman, and ito yung tinatawag na slicing and indexing. And ito ay pinaka mahalaga kapag gusto lang natin kunin yung specific part ng data. And for example is, let's type and let's run our code. Yung lumabas. And 7 pa rin naman siya. Ayan. And for the next one naman is for our dito gagamit tayo ng sales data na yun nga nakita naman natin na yung sales data natin from Monday to Sunday ay nakuha naman natin yung weekend sales natin and yun nga we use slicing. And for the next one naman is okay, may kulang pala tayo. Cut na lang natin yun. Cut na lang natin. Yan, negative 2. Hmm. Ayun ba? So, yan. Here, gumamit tayo ng negative 2. And it tells the Python na magsimula sa 2 items from the end hanggang sa huli. So, ang makukuha natin dito ay sales for Saturday and Sunday only. And very handy naman yung pag nag-analyze ka ng time-based data. And ito yung lumabas, 180. So, uh, now, let's move on sa ating statistics. And we have monthly sales figures. Yan, and let's type. Which is yun nasa ating data na ang gitna niya ay 1 to 50. And yung ating highest sales naman is 1.4. So, in one line of code, tapos agad, di ba? And finally, let's solve a real world business problem. And ito yung inventory checking. And let's type. Stock. And dito, yung pinakang items with low stock is 385. And itong technique na to is extremely useful kapag sobrang laki ng dataset. And dito naman makikita natin yung count of low stock items ay 3. And that's a quick look at using NumPy for business data analysis. From calculating revenue, applying bonuses, slicing sales data, hanggang sa inventory filtering, NumPy makes everything faster, cleaner, and more efficient. And that's all. Thank you for watching and see you for the next tutorial. Hi everyone! Ngayon gagamit naman tayo ng Pandas para mag-manage ng isang library system. Kumbaga parang real-life library pero digital version. And gagamit tayo ng Jupyter notebook dahil mas ito yung gumagana na programming app para maran yung code na i-code natin. And we'll start by learning kung paano gumawa ng data structures manually. And always remember na mag-i-import tayo ng pandas as PT and ayun yung pinaka-standard na shorthand na ginagamit ng lahat ng data analyst. And first, i-upload muna natin yung CSV na gagamitin natin which is Ito. Ayan. Next naman ay mag-download or mag-install tayo ng pandas. So, let's type pip install. Pip install pandas. Since pandas lang naman yung libraries na gagamitin natin, ayan lang yung ito-download natin. And let's just wait na mag-run. Yan. So, nag-run na yung or na-install na natin yung libraries na gagamitin natin. So, let's proceed na sa ating pagko-code. So, yun nga, always remember na mag-i-import tayo ng pandas. So, let's type import pandas as pd. So, shift enter. And next naman, for the concept 1 na gagawin natin is yung creating data structure manual. So, sabi, the most basic object sa pandas ay ang series. Isipin nyo, para siyang isang column lang sa Excel or isang list na may index at gagawa tayo ng series para mag-store ng mga book ratings. And let's type and shift enter. So, yan. Pag nilagay natin siya, ito makikita natin yung ratings kasama yung yung pandas na ang bahala sa index natin. So, for the next naman is yung creating a data frame manually. Pero, syempre, ang library system ay hindi lang isang column. Kumbaga, mas realistic kapag data frame ang gamit natin. And table siya na may rows and columns. Kumbaga, parang Excel sheets talaga. And gagawa tayo ng data frame gamit ang dictionary, kung saan ang keys ay column names like status at link piece. So, let's type. Dito na meron din late fees. And always remember na mag-iingat tayo sa books na gagamitin natin. And for the concept 2 naman, working with external data naman. And now, let's level up. And instead ng manual input, gagamit tayo ng real data galing sa CSV file. And may file tayo na library.csv na may book records. So, da-download na natin yung CSV na ginawa natin. So, df pd.read _ CSV. And ang ating name ng CSV natin ay library. Library.csv. Right. And here, kumbaga, isang line na lang. And dito, meron na tayong data frame na agad. And ganun ka-powerful ang pandas natin. And next naman is for filtering data. And let's filter the data. And hahanapin natin yung mga long books. At sabihin natin kumbaga more than 400 pages. Kumbaga, parang perfect pang thesis reading. So, let's start. And dito, makikita nyo na si pandas ay automatic na binabalik yung mga rows na pasado ang condition. And yan. ay mayroong 500 na pages. And dito napakita din naman yung time borrowed na 120 times. And dito naman sa tatlong dune na sci-fi, merong 412 page and 80 times borrowed. And ayun nga, for the next naman is creating a new column. Now, magko-compute naman tayo ng bagong insight. And gusto nating malaman kung alin ang madalas siramin kahit konti ang pages. So, we calculate grids per page. And for the uh, time borrowed, we will divide it by pages. So, row by row na yan. And si Pandas na ang bahala. So, let's type. So, ayan, meron na tayong new column agad. And kumbaga parang magic pero mat lang talaga. Ayan, nakita naman natin kung ilang books yung meron dito. And nakita din natin kung ilang pages and merong time borrowed na nakalagay and read per pages. Ayan, nakita naman natin yan. For next naman is yung grouping data naman natin. And this lastly, let's answer the big question. And anong genre nga ba yung pinakapatok as readers? And dito, gagamit tayo ng group by para pagsamasamahin ng books per genre or per genre. Then, i-add natin lahat ng times borrowed. Kumbaga, ganito yung mangyayari. Total So, ayun nga, lumabas na. At dito natin makikita kung ano yung pinaka-favorite ng mga readers. And dito makikita natin ba kung fantasy ba, romance, or mystery. So, ang pinaka-may mataas ay ang fantasy. And yung pangalawa naman yung sci-fi. And yung pangatlo is dystopian. And yung pang-apat naman yung classic. And ayan, that's it. Kumbaga, ganyan natin gamitin yung pandas para mag-organize at mag-analyze ang data. And kung gaano kalaki ang library, kayang-kaya ni pandas. So, thank you for watching and happy coding.